welcome to our investor update. So generally we do this video every week, but let's look at things and be realistic, and we don't want to spam your inbox. So we want to give you good content monthly where you can take actionable tips to improve your investment, secure another investment, basically grow wealth through property, right?
Absolutely.
This is Lee. Lee's part of our investment team here at Century 21, and I'm putting Lee in the hot seat today. So she's got no prep. I'm going to act as the landlord or interviewing, looking for a property manager, and Lee's going to be your property manager, your investor consultant, and how she would answer those questions.
Correct.
So we're going to focus on the 5 most common questions that are asked when hiring a property manager. And Lee, you ready?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay, let's talk with agency experience. So if I'm a landlord, I want to know, what's your agency experience? How do you run property management? Obviously, it's different between every different agency. What's different about Century 21?
Century 21 Newcastle, we run ours end to end. So your property manager is with you from the very beginning to the very end as such. So you've got that one point of contact at all times, which is really important, and a lot of investors find that really frustrating elsewhere. Also, the average tenants, the average years of experience between our property managers is about 10 at the moment. So there's a lot of 10 years, yeah.
Senior property manager, 10 years.
Senior property managers, some are longer, some are slightly shorter.
Can I just throw it out there? We've got 460 years combined experience under our agency.
Feeling it today.
Every year of it.
Yeah. It's also important to note that our team are highly awarded as well. So we're one of the most awarded property management teams in the state at the moment, and we're very proud of that. And that is through hard work and dedication. So you don't see that in a lot of other agencies around Newcastle.
Fantastic. When we're handling tenant selection and screening, how do we pick the right tenant for the right property?
Number one, we're using the most premium product online for our application process. It's very stringent and detailed, and basically when we are putting a tenant to the owners to make their decisions, because our owners choose their tenants, we are giving them the very best selections possible. So often or not, we can find those red flags. Have they got a history somewhere else? ID matches. There's lots of little tricks and tools in there, but we won't tell you everything.
And I guess the big thing about picking the right tenant is actually trusting your property manager, because when we're showing properties, we're talking to tenant, and generally that's like it's your first impression, right?
It is, and it's really important too that we're selecting the right people for the right property as well. Often it's good to match the tenant with the property, because every property is unique and different, and every investor's unique and different, and everybody needs different outcomes. So it's we ensure that we're selecting the best possible tenant to complement your property.
Maintenance.
Biggest
pain point for most landlords,
massive
right?
pain point for most landlords. So number one, we never action any repairs or maintenance without speaking to our landlords. So our landlords make that decision. We never do that for them. We're always going to come to you with a solution to the problem. We're never just going to dump those problems in your lap either.
And maintenance is reported through an online platform.
Yep.
So the tenant reports to us 24/7. We've got a chatbot that will troubleshoot that maintenance.
Exactly. So sometimes if there's a power meter that's tripped, things like that, often we can mitigate that before calling out a electrician at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, perfect. And then that maintenance has gone through to our landlords for approval. So they'll see photos,
absolutely,
details, video,
detailed notes from
and they can approve, and that keeps us on track and timeline and date stamped. I guess a biggest concern for most landlords is being paid their rent on time, because let's be honest, landlords are mum and dad investors trying just to get ahead in life, right? So predominantly the rent pays the majority of the mortgage. So when you're not receiving that income, how do we mitigate any loss there or any risk around receiving rent on time?
Very important that your arrears and receipting is done every single day. So our Trust account,
rental accounts manager.
Our trusted account rental manager is downloading your rents before 8 a.m. every morning to ensure that if you are on weekly, mid and end of month, or end of month completely, you'll get your payments on time. But it's important that the tenants are paying up to date in advance. We also want to ensure that we're communicating with your tenants prior to any public holidays as well. So having them prepped and ready for that. We want to ensure that there's that continual cash flow as well, especially at the moment with interest rates so high as well.
Yeah, and we've we've got processes obviously in place to, you've got your automated system, reminders about arrears and things like that, but our property managers are really trained to pick up the phone and have the conversations with the tenant, and then pass obviously that information on to our landlord.
Exactly.
I can say arrears really haven't been a problem for us. I think we've got probably...
No, we're pretty good there.
It's good. And the next thing comes obviously down to fees and services that are included.
Ooh, yes.
So transparency, cost around management and things like that. There's a standard ballpark for most agencies in the Newcastle area, let's be honest. But I guess what we're seeing in the market is more and more of fee chopping.
I'm seeing that a lot at the moment, and often, a lot of owners are trying to look for that. Instead of looking for ways to cut costs, they should be looking at their return on investment. So when it comes to fees, you get what you pay for. It's like anything in life: clothing, furniture, cars. Absolutely. Property managers today, they're focusing on their education and training. They're coming to you with better quality of service. As a team, we also constantly invest in our systems, procedures, technology and so forth. It's really important.
When I click back and we talk about return on investment, what do you mean by return on investment?
So ensuring that you're maximising the return. So your initial outlay, we want to make sure that we're constantly monitoring what's coming back in. So it's not about cutting fees, it's ensuring at the back end that all those little things that are going to earn you that little bit more money, like air conditioners, ceiling fans, dishwashers, the right tenant selection as well. It's important that all those are in place as well.
Also, days on market will come into play around that.
Absolutely. I've recently seen a few properties sitting out there on market for 60 and 70 days. At this time of year, it is peak leasing time. It should be under 10 days maximum.
What's our average days on market?
9 at the moment.
Nice. So there you go, guys. That's conversations you can have when you're looking for a property manager, or if you're not receiving that service on your current property, please reach out to Lee and Nicole from our agency. They'd love to have a conversation with you. We'll leave you some calendar links below that you can book a time online at your convenience to chat with either Lee or Nicole and how we can help you with your investment.
Lovely.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.